Okay, so continuing page 111, factoring, we just left off saying that factoring these expressions, these quadratic expressions, is more difficult when there's a negative value. So not impossible, but more difficult, so it will take more practice. Same process, I want to think about numbers that will multiply to negative 18, negative 1 times 18, negative 3 times 6, negative 2 times 9. So one rule that you can remember is that if the last number is negative, one of the factors will be negative. So perhaps it's one of these sets of numbers. But there is another scenario, maybe it would be positive 1, negative 18, or positive 3, negative 6. So if you're stuck questioning which value should be negative, there is a rule here. Which factor will be negative? If the middle number is positive, the larger factor should be positive. So in this problem, the middle number is positive 3. So we want these larger values, 18, 6, and 9, to stay positive. So which sets of these factors will add up to positive 3? Negative 1 plus 18 would give us 17, so that's not it. Negative 3 plus 6 is 3. So these are our numbers. So we're going to go straight to parentheses, two sets of parentheses, and we'll put our variable in, n minus 3, n plus 6, and that is our final answer. It could be written n plus 6 and then n minus 3. It doesn't matter which order you put them in. What is important is that the 6 is positive and the 3 is negative. Again, if you wanted to check, you could. You would check it by foiling or doing double distribution. So n times n is n squared. N times negative 3, negative 3n. We'll keep going with our multiplication. And when you combine like terms in the middle, you get exactly the problem that you started with. And that's how you know your factors are correct. Because again, this is a factored form. It's just a way of rewriting this problem. These are actually equivalent expressions, just written differently. Okay, so number 7, we're looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 6 and add to negative 5. So I'm going to put a negative 6 here. We have what? 1 times negative 6. We have 2 times negative 3. So 1 plus a negative 6 is negative 5. So those are our numbers. If adding negatives is difficult for you, you need to have a calculator on hand to check this. Learning factoring can take a while and you need to practice it a lot. So if having a calculator by your side is helpful, please get out a calculator, use a calculator. Even if it means using your phone because you're at home. Just get out your phone. 1 plus the negative 6. Does it equal the middle number? Yes, it does. Great, you found your factors. We're going to do two sets of parentheses. The variable goes first. Positive 1, negative 6, box it, and that problem is done. Number 9. Multiply to negative 12, add to 4. So, what numbers multiply to negative 12? Well, we have negative 1 times 12, negative 2 times 6, negative 3 times 4. which sets of these would add to be 4? Negative 1 and 12 would make 11. Negative 2 plus 6 is 4. So these are our numbers. We're going to write 2 sets of parentheses, r minus 2, r plus 6. If you want to check it, multiply it out. All right, I'm going to continue with the odds. And you guys should keep watching videos. This doesn't come easily. So as you're trying to do the evens on your own, message me for help. Try them on your own. Show your work. Write this out every time. What are you multiplying to? We're multiplying to the last number, negative 6. What are we adding to? That is a negative 1 there. So we want to add to negative 1. So we're going to do our little t-chart. What numbers multiply to negative 6? 1 times negative 6. 2 times negative 3. 1 plus negative 6 would give us negative 5. So that's not it. But 2 plus a negative 3 is a negative 1. So those are our numbers. W plus 2, W minus 3. X squared minus 8x plus 15. So this is interesting. The last number is positive and the middle number is negative. There's a rule about that. You should write these rules down somewhere in your math notebook so that you can refer to them when you get stuck. If the last number is positive, like this positive 15, and the middle number is negative, like this negative 8, both factors are negative. So when I think about what's going to multiply to be a positive 15, I'm thinking of negative 1 times negative 15, because a negative times a negative is a positive. Or I'm thinking negative 3 times negative 5. Negative 3 times negative 5 would make a positive 15. A negative times a negative again is a positive. So in addition, if I add these together, negative 1 plus a negative 15 would give me negative 16, not what I'm looking for. Negative 3 plus a negative 5 would give me negative 8. So my answers are x minus 3, x minus 5.